Hey peeps, welcome to Author Cross. Let's get into it. Welcome guys, today I'm going to talk about how to make the B-2 bomber. So basically the Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit bomber using paper. So how do you start this? So we basically start this with paper, obviously. So the materials you need is obviously paper and binder gum. That's it, that's all you need. We start this with making a circle, actually a cylinder, using paper. Just measure it up. I would suggest getting a small blueprint. You can draw it or you can print it to your size so you know the scale of the aircraft you're gonna make. So first, do it and make the cylinder of the actual aircraft to the scale of, I would say, before, just exactly before the curvature of the cockpit and just before the pitch control rudder in the rear where the radar warning antennae resides. So I would consider that length. So in this case I took the exact length according to my blueprint, and that's what I did. And so as you can see, what I'm trying to do is make the cylinder into a semicircle, so half a circle shaped. So then I can actually make the next part, which is actually the cone, a cone to like resemble the front of the cockpit. So I'm gonna first I'm gonna actually make it in a higher radius, so the radius of the specific cone is higher, so we can actually cut it in a radial arc. So you can put that and you can actually cut around. First you gotta draw around, so put it on your scale, put attach both the cone to the semicircle is it half circle, yeah, half a circle of the cylinder, and boom. Actually taper one side because that's where the actually the I believe it's a bird. Let's call it a falcon or a hawk. The hawk shape goes. The tail is always like tapering, so you gotta taper the cylinder first in one side. Yeah. So the cone, you gotta trace the circular. I believe it's like similar to it's circular. You actually do that and cut it around and use small strips of paper. I would consider like using maybe say 2 millimeters by 3 centimeters or 2 centimeters, that range of rectangles. So once you make those, you can actually use those to attach the end, which is actually detached from the lower end of the cone shape. You actually attach in the first part. So that's done. After that, you just wait for it to actually become one piece. So I'm not referencing the anime One Piece. No, I'm joking. Whatever. Next is what I'm gonna do is, next part is actually building the foundation in between the parts. Before that, I would suggest you actually smoothen out the rough parts. Like example, you need a really smooth part around the cockpit, so it actually resembles more of the head of the hawk. So now what I'm doing is actually measuring out the size of the foundation I need to place under the cockpit, and so that it can be the foundation for the whole plane, for the whole B-2 bomber, and for the engines, the F118 GE100 turboprop engines, all four of them. So there's 2 on each side. So what I'm doing is just folding it, I believe it's 4 times. I would suggest 6 times, and just apply the whole plane with binder gum, and boom. Just measure it out. You need a square. You need to make it into a square, and boom, you can do that. That's done. So after this, what I would suggest is, as I said, this is the foundation you're making. So after the foundation, just put the cockpit, paste it on top, and then you move on to the engines. So yes, as you can see, I'm just marking the exact location where I need to paste the cockpit, and after that we're done. Next, we need to actually secure it. Like, you can't just paste it there and just go. So measure the exact size of the foundation and take a rectangle again and paste it on both sides of the cockpit so it's actually in place. So that is done. So it's actually in place and secured. So that's the main part. Next, so once you've actually secured it, draw. It's fine if you can wing it, but I would suggest drawing actually part. So what I'm currently doing is trying to like make the actual shape, but I think it's unnecessary. I believe I just remove it later. So what I'm now doing, and after tracing, measuring exactly the same width and length needed for the intake and engine manifold part around, and yeah. So for this one, same as usual, just like the fuselage, you need a big tube. So you need a bigger tube for the first fuselage. You need a smaller tube for the second part. So basically, the whole build so far is comprised of tubes. So the fuselage is a tube, but it's not flattened. The foundation is a tube, but it is flattened with gum everywhere. Then the what is it? I forgot what these are. Engine intakes and output for the engines. They're also same as tubes. So you just cut it out. You need to cut out an exact like an arrow pattern, the front for the intake, and an arrow pattern, but in the opposite end. So not opposite, same way you cut it for the intake. So it's like arrows pointing forward. So that's what you gotta do. Next, what I'm gonna do is actually just measure. I just want to check, like, is it the actual size to the F-22 Raptor? So that's what you saw there. Next is I'm just trying to make the leading edge. The leading edge is what's next. So same thing as usual. Fold it multiple times. I folded it like 4 times again. Same thing, because the A4 sheet you can fold it 4 times for that length, what the length I need. So after that, that's done. So next, I just attach it with I believe it's 4 pieces. I can't see it in my model right now while I'm talking. This is after, but you can't see it, so it has to be hidden. So boom, you put that down, you cut it exactly, and we're done. You actually need to make the points. I would suggest just making 3 points so you can actually just cut it out. So after cutting it out, you're done. So after that, you just paste it. 4 pieces of gum is fine. You don't need more than that. You don't need less than that. Less than that, it's just gonna fall off. I would consider 4 pieces, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top, and boom, you're done. So after this is the hard part, because I was thinking of like, maybe should I make this with cardboard, because it started to get like straining. I think this was like my 2.5 hour mark, because it took me 4 hours and 41 minutes exactly to finish the whole build. So what I'm doing next is just there's an indentation, like it's protruding downwards. Normally in the B-2, in actuality, it's obviously based on a hawk. So you gotta think about that, right? It's just like a hawk, right? So since it's just like a hawk, the beak part, that's what I'm making. It's like the protrusion downwards, that part. It's actually like, it's there to like reflect more the radars and stuff. So the radar signature is really small. Oh yeah, fun fact, by the way, while I'm at it, I'll talk about the stuff later. Fun fact, the radar signature of a B-2 bomber, the cross-section area is actually 0.00001, I believe, square meters. Square meters? Yes, square meters. So basically, that's the size of a bumblebee. Yes, that huge 172-foot wingspan, 69 nice foot length aircraft has a signature, radar signature of a bumblebee. So basically invisible. So what? Okay, back to this fun fact over. Now what I'm doing is I'm just actually filling up, because I didn't actually make the whole thing, the blueprint. So I'm just making everything together. So now what I'm doing is just filling up the gaps of my blueprint, and I'm just trying to fill up the diamond shape. So basically, if you disregard the mid aileron, the inboard aileron parts, and the main split rudder wing parts, if you disregard those stuff, it's just a diamond shaped aircraft. So what I'm trying to do now is just make the diamonds. So basically the same step before, the same step of like folding it multiple times, but for this, since this is like also a main part of the rudder part, I would suggest doing it. Oh wow, that is the worst. Oh wow, I'm speechless. That is the most disgusting way I've ever folded it. I'm sorry, but it's ugly and I need to roast myself. So don't do that, just make it perfectly straight, like no creases, nothing. So it's better for actually the integrity for the aircraft, because yikes. So with this, I would consider 6 times folds. So I would say that is 1.5 size, so 1.5 of another A4C. So that is what you need for this one. So next, what you need to do is just make those, cut out the triangles. So according to your scale, this is my scale. I'll actually share the this diagram you see on the screen. I'll share that. I'll put it as a Google document later, and you can see that. I'll actually put a tutorial in the sense of I'll just draw it how you can actually make these parts, and actually the whole process, because this is the first time I actually recorded the process. So before I just do it, I just wing it. I don't plan it. Same here, I never planned it. I just did it on the go. The only planning I did was drawing the blueprint. So see, now the diamond shape is complete. Include the indentations, the protrusions downward, that one, the wingtips, so the leading edge. I'm not gonna call the rear part any, what is it? I don't know what that part is. I'm gonna call it the tapering end, because I know it's a trailing edge. There you go, tapering end. So once this is done, so what I'm doing next is just tracing the stuff, because I ran out of A4 sheets. Don't do this. I actually drew on the black the background paper. I drew it on there. So don't do that. Worst thing ever. Next, what you need to do is actually make it. So I would suggest using the next part is the wings. Next is the wings. So I said diamond shape. I excluded the parts where the mid aileron and the inboard aileron are actually situated. Those wing parts. Now we're doing those. So split rudder and outboard aileron. So those are the ones I'm actually noting out. So those are what I'm making. So those are the biggest parts, the wingtips basically. Those are what I'm currently making. So same thing, I would suggest not 6 times, maybe 4 times. 4 times, not each, just 4 times. So that's for the wings, because the wings are supposed to be really thin in the wing area, the edge. So yeah, I'm just since I was kind of like lazy, that side, because I knew this was gonna take probably like 5 hours, so I didn't want to just do the same thing over and over. So I just wanted to challenge myself, so I did. So I made pieces of the wings. So as you can see, well, the camera angle is kind of weird, so sorry about that. But as you can see, I'm just making everything in one go. Just small pieces. Later I did adjust what I need to do. Like I adjusted some of the angles. I actually cut down pieces in the not post actually, before I painted it. So yeah, post painting, there we go. So once that's done, we are moving on to actually the finer parts, which includes the outboard ailerons and inboard ailerons. Why I'm talking about the aileron parts is because I don't know the actual the wings names. So what I'm doing currently is where the exhaust channels and the exhaust diffusers exist. So that's the part I'm actually making. So I tried to like, yeah, see, so as you can see, there's like the exhaust aileron and stuff. The exhaust aileron is actually the part behind the exhaust. So the intake and the output, the part. So intake is the arrow forwards, outtake is arrow forward again, but there's a bigger area behind that. That's what it's called, the outtake. Just go with it. So I'm just trying to fill this part up. I would suggest you don't need to fill this part up. Just paste an A4 sheet so you can be satisfied. But I didn't want to do that because I was like, nah, I want this to be fully like reinforced. So that's what I did. I reinforced it. So boom. Now next is I actually tried to like fake the rudder stuff. Like I was like, maybe they wouldn't see like that. Obviously you guys are gonna see, and I'm gonna get roasted in the comments if I get any. So what was next? Let's see. I'm actually just waiting. Okay, now I'm actually making the rudder. Yeah, just making small pieces to paste and actually smoothen it out. I'm not making I did make the rudder at this point, but you don't see it, camera angle, sorry. I'll fix it later. So, oh, there it is there. It is actually there. You can't see it, so I did fix it later. Actually, so now that's done. So since I'm somewhat satisfied with the rear, actually remove it later in the middle or something. So I'm done with that. Now I'm actually pasting the main wings of the aircraft. Not since the diamond part is complete, we're moving to the wings, the actual wings. See, I'm just pasting small parts so I can actually attach the wings, the wing tips to the diamond piece. So that is what's next. So yes, so let's wait. And as you can see, that is the whole length. I know it's huge. The plane, the bomber is huge. Like for me, it was like 43.4 centimeters in the wingspan, because originally what I dictated it would be was like 46.4 centimeters, but since I suck at like measurements and stuff and I didn't complete the blueprint, I couldn't actually make it to super scale, so super exactly to scale. So yeah, now I'm just filling the back parts with all the reinforcements. So after the reinforcement, do you see the small tubes alongside the wings? That's to fill in the wings, because the wing needs to be the normal aerodynamic shape. So now as you can see, the fat pieces of like the trapezium shaped tubes you're seeing right now, attachments, those are actually also protrusions you see in the underside of the plane. That is for like, I believe that is for the bomber bays and the rear landing gear, because the front landing gear is on the breast side of the aircraft. Let's just call it the breast. I don't know what it is. If you guys are fluent in plane structure of the B-2, just let me know what the breast part I'm talking about is. Just call it breast, whatever. Yeah, so next is just adding three. I'm trying to fix, yeah. See, I added a triangle piece to the rear, because so I know I can actually beef up the rear of the plane. So it's all for the angle. When you look from the side, it's all for that angle. So I'm trying to like fulfill all the angle pieces. So once this is done, next is just pasting single strips, like single, not even strips, just a whole piece of A4 on the thing. You don't need to worry about like things like, oh, it's gonna look weird. You just need to crush it in. So I would suggest, like, yeah, as you can see, I'm just plastering gum all over the place. I'm just gonna paste it. As you can see the actual tail rudder part there, and as you can see, it's fully like covered. So I would say I actually started from the protrusion parts on the wings, and then came inwards into the underside. So that's why it looks a bit more cleaner. So I would suggest doing the same. So yes. Now see, as you can see, one side is complete on like completely flattening the underside of the plane, and do the same to the other side. So that's what I'm trying to do currently. So once that's done, we will move on to the overhead view of the plane, where we will actually flatten those stuff. So I believe I did that before. So same thing, just flatten all the parts. As you can see, I've actually added. There are some more parts needed to add there. So like where the engines are just attached, you need to put those parts there. So once those are done, you can move on to the overhead view, the under side, and the underside is what you're watching right now, and overhead is the cockpit area, right? So yeah, just tell me if you don't like the commentary where I just talk and talk and talk without like any break, because I just want to explain to you about how this build is coming into place, because I genuinely love just explaining it to someone who would listen, right? Oh yeah, by the way, it's not exactly 35 degrees, because in Google it said it's 35, but in Wikipedia it's 33 degrees. I mean, the leading edge angle, just so you know. That's another fun fact, I guess. Yeah, so yes. So the whole bottom side is complete at this point. Let's say I believe it is complete. Let's see if there's any further improvements. Since I'm actually showing it in the front, there's not yet. I'm still on the underside. Well, I'm at it. Actually, I might as well just tell you another fun fact. So, fun fact number 2. Fun fact number 2 is, did you see the massive like flat areas on the top side of the plane? So those triangles I said before, so those are the most anti-reflective areas, like for radar. So it's because obviously the angles also work a lot. The angles actually help for reflection of the radars more, and since the engines are actually mounted inside more, and there's more reduced infrared signatures, so since there's less heat signatures, the heat-seeking missiles actually don't lock on to the plane. So I think it was 2013. Since 2013 there was no heat-seeking missiles that actually locked on to this plane ever recorded. Like none of them hit, is what I'm saying. So yes, that's one of the things. Acoustic like it has reduced acoustic signature. Like it sounds so, like it doesn't sound so much. Like if you think like an afterburner, like the F-22, it has two afterburners. It sounds so loud. But this, it doesn't, because it's mounted inside. So boom, that's amazing. And reduced radar signature is because mainly the angles, obviously. Second is because anti-reflective paint on the underside, actually. So that's the thing mainly. And the reduced radar signature is because of is it multi-spectral camouflage? That's what it was for. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, those are the stuff. Actually, the fun facts. I ranted too long, so I'm just showing you right now how it turned out. And yeah, that is what it is. Sorry for the unfocus. And yeah, there's the F-22 Raptor for scale. So it's about 3.67 or 3.76 centimeters, no, times the F-22 Raptor. So what paints should you use for this build? I suggest fabric paints or acrylic colors, because watercolors will not work, because binder gum does not like watercolors. So I would suggest you go for a light gray, which is closer to, I believe, blue, slightly bluish, but gray, and should be more reflective. So I generally did get it more reflective, because in my paint set I don't have white. Instead I had silver, so it actually became so much better. It's actually so much better in, like, for this build, it's really good. So I would suggest get reflective paint, because the overhead view has more reflective paint, but the underside, like I said before on my fun fact number 2, it has anti-reflective paint. So basically it's just matte black. Yeah, so the upward paint, there's a bit more to the right side, and once that's over, we will commence painting the exhaust diffusers, exhaust channels, and the intakes. So for that it's just pitch black, like same as for the underside, just pitch black. So I do draw in the cockpit glasses, is it glasses, like the viewing the cockpit, basically glasses. Yeah, the glasses are next. So in this one I just did the same black paint I use for the intakes and exhaust diffusers, intakes, and exhaust channel. That's it. Like there's a small outlining around the exhaust channel, not the channel, the exhaust piece, where there's like a small, I told you about the arrow thing. Yeah, that shape around that's what I'm actually painting, because it's supposed to be black according to the model I was looking at, obviously a real model. So once that one side is done, the second side is what you will do. Once that's done, we're done with the exhaust ports. Then it's the front the intakes. Once the intakes are done, I moved on to the, I believe, the cockpit, like I mentioned. Oh no, actually did the underside fully black, just matte black, all matte black, and boom, that's it. And I hope you enjoyed, because this is the glamour shots actually. This looks amazing in my eyes, because it's a scaled representation of what I just built. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, because yeah, if you guys have any more comments, like if I missed any fun facts or if I missed any pieces, I know the details, like further details are not there, Sorry about that, but other than that, it's very much complete. And if you have any questions, any sorry, bless myself, I was a bit sick, and yeah. If you have, there's the F-22 Raptor again for scale. I didn't paint it because I didn't want to. I didn't feel like painting it. So if you have any questions in the future, if you have any issues with how I did it, if you need help with anything in the future, just talk and leave a comment. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and well, I'll see you guys in a week. I'll see you guys next week, and hopefully I will have an idea from you guys, and see ya.